I don't do anything in life if it doesn't bring me joy. I'll put it down in an instant. I've kind of proven that over the years. Whether I've left a band or started a band or what have you. You know, it's got to be a good time for me, and it's got to have positive vibes, or I'm not in.
Ghost Cult Magazine welcomes in our old friend Dez from Devildriver and Cold Chamber. You know how good it sounds coming out of my mouth to say that?
It feels good. It feels good to hear it, man. Good to be talking to you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. You've always been a big supporter of Ghost Cult over the years. I appreciate you. You know, we're here on the precipice, almost ready to release the brand new album, Dealing with Demons Volume 2. We spoke last a year and a half ago in the worst time in human history, at least in our lifetime.
Yeah.
And you were still very positive and upbeat then, and I feel like you're probably going to be today. But you know, the last couple of years have not been without challenges. And you know, change is always a good thing, and change is a constant. You got to be ready to move at the speed of this business, the music business. So, you know, just congratulations on all these things happening for you. I know I always joke you're the hardest working guy in showbiz. That's a James Brown reference, but like it applies to you today.
As a fan of James Brown, I'll go with that.
Yeah, man. Just you know, killer record. Cold Chambers playing shows, touring. Sick New World Fest coming up. I'll see you there. And you know, just so much stuff going on. But you know, just in general, you know, you have your management company, touring company, and all these things. How do you, just in general, how does your, you know, we were talking right as we started to record, you know, your day is very jam-packed with stuff. How do you just deal with all of that? How do you compartmentalize thing to thing to thing?
I mean, it's been easy for me because, like, since I was a kid, I've only slept 4 or 5 hours a night. It used to drive my mom insane. Come down at 2 o'clock in the morning and find a 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old just walking around eating Fruit Loops. You know what I mean? So what I normally do, my normal day is my alarm when I'm at home, mind you, right? Alarm goes off around 4:45 a.m. I get up, I make coffee. I watch the sun come up religiously every morning. After that, I try to get in a half an hour of gym time. I got a home gym, so I'm either going to run on the treadmill, do whatever I can. Anastasia and I try to meditate for 15, 25 minutes a day as the sun is coming up, kind of say my thank yous and my gratitude to the universe. And then I'm in the office. So yeah, we run the Oracle management, which actually the big B Oracle is behind us right now. We formed that company 7, 8 years ago. The reason we formed it is to be unlike other managers, not be in the office at 10, 11 o'clock, not be out on our boat on Wednesdays, not be hard to get a hold of on Saturdays if you got an idea as a artist. And so we work 6 days a week, 5 a.m. till 11 p.m. That's without fail. Sundays, of course, I'm Italian, so Sundays are for the kids. I have 3 sons. Mandatory that they're here. I'm making Sunday gravy. For people who don't know, that's sauce. So other than that, it's a work day, right? And I find time to do all of it. So not only that, we run Sun Cult, which is in about 600, 700 Zumi stores across in malls. My middle son, Caleb, runs that with myself. He's also an assistant and a manager here and helps out. My wife is also the CEO. My wife of almost 25 years is the CEO of Oracle. Plus, I day trade and I run stocks. So I've got 3 computers going at all times while I'm on the phone or doing business, and I'm clicking into Bitcoin or Doge or what have you. I trade crypto. So yeah, I tend to keep busy. If I don't keep busy, I stress lax. And that's the worst thing for me. It's like, hey, you need to sit down and relax. It's like, I have stuff I'd rather do, and I'm not a TV guy. I maybe catch about 2 hours of actual TV a week, maybe, if that. I'm a music guy. So like this morning I woke up, listening to vinyl and, before this, listening to music and actually listening to some songs from a band that we just picked up, Kill the Lights on Fearless Records. So we were checking that out this morning, and it's been a pleasure. Not only been a pleasure to work in the industry behind the scenes, which of course I know after 28, 30 years in the business. I'm part accountant, part attorney, part A&R guy, but it's been a privilege to help guide the careers of a lot of great artists. Cradle of Filth, Exodus. My wife works Devildriver and Cold Chamber. I just sing in those bands. I have nothing to do with the business with that. Was great to take on Ginger in their early years and break them in the United States. Had to make a lot of people feel them, and now, of course, everybody has just come on board because they're wonderful. But I find doing business is essential to my life. I don't really find the time to just chilling out. For me is actually doing what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know what I would do otherwise. I mean, there's times on, Sundays when I'm sitting by the pool and taking a breather and closing my eyes. But other than that, it's go time. Devildriver's dropping a record May 12th, which is my birthday. It's Dealing with Demons 2, which is the second volume in a 2-volume record. We dropped Dealing with Demons 1 in 2020 in the height of the pandemic. That thing came out to number, I think, 3 or 4 across the country over the year, right behind Lamb of God and Testament, which is great. Not competing with them. On this one, only competing with Metallica. So, small band.
Maybe they'll make it someday. I heard good things about those
somebody's
guys.
heard of them. And so, maybe they'll make something of themselves one day. So it's pretty incredible time. And like you said, doing double duty as well with Cold Chamber, doing Sick New World, May 13th, the day after my birthday, as well as Incarceration, Blue Ridge, and the Mudvayne tour as well.
Huge. That's so huge. So, to have those two bands back touring. Huge.
Yeah, we were only going to do 3 shows this year, Cold Chamber, and the way that happened, and I won't go into the long story, but I almost died from COVID. I was actually on my deathbed. My wife was calling friends and family saying, give Dez a call. The EMTs were just here. His heart is, exploding, and, we should all say what we want to say to him. And then what happened there was the Cold Chamber guys and girls checked on me daily. And after about a year, somebody said, hey, we should do some more shows. And I finally said, yeah, okay, let's see if anything comes up. Just so happened Mudvayne got a hold of us. I'm a fan of those guys. I like Chad. I've never caught any bad vibes from that guy. And I'm all about vibes if I'm in a tour with somebody. So, yeah, that was great to accept that tour. And I think it's going to be a real interesting summer. Not only that, but in between June and August, I'm dropping an autobiography. That's my childhood years through Cold Chamber. It's a 2-book deal. And actually the next one will be the Devildriver years, which are full of insane stories. But I find that late 2019, I tore everything down to help my wife go through cancer surgeries. The whole family rallied around her, got hit with the pandemic, then got hit late 2021 with COVID, almost lost my life. So, 3 years have kind of been put to the wayside for family and for everything. So now I'm charging. This year has just been charging full force. And I find myself waking up every day with positivity and with like the grind on my mind. I mean, the thing is I'm highly evolved when it comes to running multiple companies, just because I got my shit together, and it's a good time. It's a good time.
Word. Thank you for unpacking all that. And of course, I'm super stoked you're still here. Thank goodness. And early happy birthday as well. We'll be celebrating with you. I'll be at Sick New World. We have a little team going, so I'm very excited. Super stoked. And you've always had that kind of punk rock PMA. This is our 4th or 5th interview in 15 years of me doing this. And I always appreciate you're very strong on the PMA, whatever you're doing. So I love that.
If you don't have that, I think where you're going to go, right? I think when people read the book and they find out where I come from as a kid, some of the stuff that I went through, they're going to understand why I have that level of fuck this, let's look on the bright side.
Yeah, it's necessary. And I'm stoked about this book. This is great. I think I said 10 years ago, we sat on a tour bus outside of the Palladium in Worcester. And I was like, dude, you should write a book for real. And I'm glad you're doing that, because I said so, but I'm super glad you're doing it. And, but I remember that very distinctly. It was a great conversation. We were talking about Freemasonry and other things. And, it's funny how life, turns. And so Dealing with Demons, Volume 2, right? Let's just jump in really quick, because I want to be mindful of your time, because I'm sure you got the next thing lined up. And, it's always, I think the first record was awesome and definitely misunderstood by fans, I think, a little bit, which is weird, because I think the band has been very consistent. 20 years this year, 20 years of releases this year for Devildriver, coming in August from the debut. And I feel like it was overlooked a little bit because of when it came out at the end. You're very brave to put out a thing at the end of the worst year in the business ever. And I'm stoked that this record is again equally strong.
I think, look, I got told that putting it out at that time was not good, but I was like, everybody's locked in their houses. When do you want music? Now is the time. This is not about monetary gain. This is about when people need music. And I'm that guy that's like, let's go ahead and give it to them. Overlooked, I wouldn't go with that. That thing, Dealing with Demons 1 got 10 out of 10s almost everywhere. Like I said, it came out number 3 in the United States over the course of the year. Number 3 or 4, I got to look, right behind, some huge bands. Overlooked in the fact that we didn't get to tour on it. The videos, we had to make them separately apart from each other, which was the weirdest shit on earth. And I think that we did the right thing by giving people music at a time when they needed it the most. There wasn't a lot of bands that dropped, and there wasn't a lot of bands that wanted to drop around that time. And it's great to be following it up with Dealing with Demons 2. We took some chances on number 1, which was amazing. I will say this many, many times, but Devildriver is not held to the fire like other metal bands that have to watch their brand like Coca-Cola. And if they change it at all, people are going to disappear. We put a song like Wishing on Dealing with Demons 1, which was definitely an ode to my Bauhaus Sisters of Mercy background. I mean, I was raised a punk rock, goth, psychobilly kid way before metal. And so, that was a nod to that. And that got high marks where, if other bands in metal would have released that song, I believe a lot of people would have left their side for sure. And so I'm grateful to the people who listen to our music that we're allowed to kind of jump in the fire ourselves and open up the brand to other things. And now watching Dealing with Demons and watching the marks that it's getting are incredible. I mean, I got off an interview the other day with, I believe it was Metal Hammer Germany, and Germany is an entirely different monster when it comes to metal music. And he was like, bro, I got to be honest with you, this is the best record that you guys have ever done. So hearing that makes you really pleased. This thing was sitting on ice for like 2.5 years. And now to have it come out to the kind of fanfare that it is absolutely a pleasure. The videos went over very well. Getting ready to film another video actually this Friday for another song that's getting ready to come out called This Relationship Broken. And I'm touching on some subjects on this double record that are important to me, And then when I started speaking to the label, they're like, why do you want to do a double record? I'm like, there's things you have to do before you say goodbye and before you start taking a slow walk, which, I'm 5, 10, 20 years from that. I don't know when, to be honest with you. And so a double record was in the cards. And plus we had so much material that I knew that it would be all killer and no filler. I really did. And I told my guys, we're going to be dumping some of this stuff to the wayside. Don't get butt hurt when I say, this song's not going to work, that song's not going to work. Believe me, you're not going to see those lyrics from me on anything ever again. And I don't want to see those riffs ever repeated again. So just write as much material as you can. And I'm real proud of this record, how it turned out. I think the musicians around me at the time did a great job. And certainly, hopefully I rose to the occasion for people as well.
Oh, that's awesome. I think they're going to definitely get that coming through this record. And I would say for me as a longtime fan and follower, I love the dynamics on this record. There's a lot of, you don't hear the word atmospherics a lot on Devildriver stuff because you expect brutality and grooves, which are all in abundance here. But I love there's a lot of dynamics and depth, and maybe Winter Kills had some of that.
Yes,
moody passages, but I love that this record really has a journey, the whole track listing, and there's very meaningful pauses and lulls and then rage, and I love that.
So I'll agree with you on the comparison to Last Kind Words. A lot of people are comparing it to that right now when it comes to that. Somebody actually said, if this is where, this is the 10th record. So somebody said the other day in an interview, if this is where you're going musically, I see another 10 years of, 10 records of a career. And I said, well, that's presumptuous and it's a very long time, but I appreciate that. But I do understand what the interviewer meant by that. Because we've kind of found a new, and no pun intended, we found a new groove. We found a new style. We found a new thing that we're doing as a band. And I think it's working. So the touring wise, we're going to tour behind this one because the world has opened up, and, look forward to the release.
Yeah, so much so we covered the Cradle of Filth co-headline tour, and my reviewer, who had not seen your band before, was blown away. So she's a great photographer. here in
Thank you.
California, and she was like came away like wildly impressed and had no expectations coming in, and they were totally, she came away amazed. So I loved hearing that, and I love reading that and seeing that on our site. And of course, when this runs, we're going to link all your stuff in the description, all the things, so people can follow and find you, and especially that book. I'm super looking forward to that announcement.
Yeah, appreciate it. That tour came along. I mean, we of course, I've had the pleasure to guide Cradle of Filth's career for a very long time as manager, but Danny and I are also very good friends. Like, we have a hard time getting business done because we'll chat for an hour and a half, and finally Anastasia will say, did you guys talk about what you were supposed to? I said, oh God, I got to call him back. But I said to him, I've been wearing a Cradle hoodie for, a very long time, since the early 90s, one of my favorite bands. And I said, we've never toured together. And he goes, no, we haven't. I said, well, okay, let's go. And so that co-headlining run went well. We're going to announce another leg of it coming in October. And so actually, you're probably the first one to hear that. I don't think I've said it yet. So we'll be announcing that in the next couple of weeks, and it's looking to cover some good ground. And then there'll actually be a third leg in 2024 as well. So yeah, that was a good tour, man. It was my first time back after 3 years and really hitting it hard. I think the band was in top form. There was a lot of complimentary stuff said about that tour. And certainly I'm looking forward to get back out on the road. A ship is not meant to be built and stay on land, which of course I consider myself a ship. And so I need to be out there, and I need to be touring,
Are you a battleship or a fast cruiser?
I'm more of a pirate ship with extra guns.
There you go. Yeah, man, I love hearing 2024 and stuff like that. I'm so happy shows are back. It was brutal for everybody. And let's talk about the band for a second, because I know, never your favorite subject. Lineup changes happen. It's part of life.
Yeah.
Friendships go away. Family goes away. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But it's cool. Yeah. We're in a very cool place with this new old lineup a little bit, and talk a little bit about some of those changes and maybe what we can look forward to on the next Devildriver record with this unit writing that record.
Got it. So the first change is my drummer Austin. When he was in the band, he had some substance issues, and he got himself into rehab, got himself clean and sober off of some real heavy substance issues that of course we weren't going to put up with, and got himself clean, got himself sober, and they asked him to stay back and help run the facility and help other people with their life. So we applauded that. So it wasn't like he got fired or something went down between us. We told each other to fuck off. No, he actually decided to stay back, work at this facility. His girlfriend works there as well. So he's got a new relationship. They're both there. They're helping, guiding people's lives. So we applaud him. And then we brought in Davir. Now, Davir is one of the best drummers I've ever played with. I've only had, in this band, a few drummers over the course of 20 years. And he is one of the most incredible guys to tour with. Very cool, very positive. But not only that, he plays the songs exactly like the record, which I've never, from the get-go, I've never had out of the drummers I had, even from the very beginning. So he's amazing. We switched out Neil with Alex. Out of Mike Spreitzer's mouth, Alex is the best guitar player he's ever played with. So that'll tell you where that comes from. Neil's a great guy, great guitar player. He was always a fill-in. So while he did a couple records with us, he did some touring with us, and he's a great dude. There's no beef there at all. He was always a fill-in, and I was always looking for my forever dude. I really was. And Alex is that guy. I had some long conversations with him before he came in. And then we always talk about guys leaving, but we never talk about guys coming back to bands. So 12 years ago, because of substance abuse issues that I'll let Miller go into in any of the interviews that he does in the future, but he got himself, taken care of. And 12 years later, after a 5-hour conversation with me, and actually tears between him and I, because I was always very close with John Miller in Devildriver, he's back, and he's a beast on stage. He's a beast writer. For people who don't know, he's one of the big primary writers in the first 4 or 5 records, and having him back is going to be incredible. Like, I can't imagine what we're going to write. He's already sent me a few riffs, and it's like, I'm ready now. Like come stay at my house now. Let's go into my studio. Let's record now. So a lot of positive things going on. You know, a drummer left out of positivity, keeping somebody, keeping people sober. John Miller coming back. And then, of course, we wish Neil all the best with what he's doing with his bands that he's touring with. But having Alex is an amazing guy. And I look forward to writing with Alex. I think he's going to be incredible watching him and Mike together. Just watching those guys together on stage already is like, they're in beast mode, really, when they're on stage. And if you go back and look at some of the YouTubes from this past tour, like the band is firing on all cylinders. And I, of course, I'm really now, after taking a year off to get myself better after COVID, I'm in the shape of my life. I wish I was in this shape in my mid-20s, my 30s, but I'm ready to go. So yeah, that's where we're at there with the members.
Love it. And I love to hear it. And also, let's give Mike his flowers. One of the most consistent and best people in the music business, on guitar, as a writer, in the band this whole time. What is it like to have somebody that you can always look over and count on like that?
When you call a guy and you're like, hey, so-and-so is gonna, make an exit, they're gonna do this and that, where's your head at? And Mike's like, whatever, bro, I got you. Like, that's just where Mike is. I have Mike and Mike has me. We have each other's fucking back. I believe Mike will finish out whenever I finish out. I look after him like a brother. He looks after me like a brother. And everything I do, I run through Mike. Hey, look at the routing. How does this sit? Look at the monies. How does this sit? He goes over budgets with me. I mean, the guy is, and he's a consummate writer. Great thing about Mike is he's not like this metal guy first, right? Like I said, I come from a goth psychobilly punk rock roots. He comes from this kind of industrial, if it's Ministry, if it's I mean, I could go on for days, that he's into it. So we tend to bring different vibes to the band. That's what makes us, I think, what we do. You know what I mean? Right. But yeah, giving Mike all the props in the world, man. He's been from day one just solid as a motherfucker. For people who don't know, my original guitar player, Evan, who wrote the very first record, only did one tour, actually came to me and said, bro, this is not for me. Like, fuck, are you kidding? This is what you've been doing for the last whatever. I can't do this. And Mike, when he joined, for people who don't know, he joined with 2 days notice. He learned the set on an airplane as we played our first show with In Flames in front of 5,000 people in Sweden. Wow. And so from day one, Mike has always said, I got it and I got this. So yeah, that guy's my steadfast rock, and I appreciate him to the core,
Word. And that was like in 2023 or 2003 or 2004, before there was all these TikTokers and YouTubers who were doing guitar lessons and stuff online where you could watch and learn, pick something up in an hour if you're good. Yeah, man, just love that whole story. As we wind this down, I want to give you back your day. Once again, there's so many directions we could take this in.
I'm showing 10 minutes.
All right. So that's great. That leaves me too. But yeah, always very, all the many things you have going on. I know Coal Chamber is especially sweet for you. Again, 20 years of Devildriver. You've been in the business like 30 years almost. And, Coal Chamber had its run and its comeback, and now a second comeback. So very few people get this. And I know that the relationship's really important with you for Mike and, Meigs. So it's really, really important that was important, mended. I know that's always a thing here. So, how's it gonna be to get on for these shows and this tour and see those guys also?
I mean, it's gonna be amazing, man. They checked on me on a daily basis when they thought I was gonna leave the planet. And the thing is I said, look, the best thing that has come out of me almost dying, that's a crazy sentence, right? Here's a great, and it's a PMA. It's like the best thing that came out of this is that we became good friends again. And when we first started talking about doing shows, I actually said, let's not do that. Let's just be friends. Let's not blow that. And what I realized is, no, man, it's a different lifetime right now. They have their shit together 100%. They're all family. Married, kids, this and that. Everybody's got their shit together. Like, why not do shows? I do miss them. It's the band who made me what I am. Do I ever want to not sing Loco again with them? No, I definitely want to go up and do it. And I said this to an interviewer about an hour ago, actually. If I would have released Rivals, which is the record we released a little over 10 years ago, if I were to release that this year, on the comeback of nu metal, which is what's happening right now, that thing would have gone through the roof, especially around a Mudvayne tour. We were 10 years too early. I really do believe that when we released Rivals. So now is a second chance to kind of get out there and do it. We're going to have fun. To be able to be on stage with Nadia, Meigs, and Mike again will be great. The conversations have been hilarious on the phone. I mean, it is like fucking hours of text of just like laughing emojis and a good time. And again, like in the beginning of that band, I mean, I did all the business. I worked with the agents. I worked with the labels. I booked the shows. I did everything. And that was part and parcel, part of the reason why I couldn't take it anymore. But my wife guides this band, you know, she manages the band. So all I do is talk to them about the fun shit. What songs do you want to play? You know, we were the first in the industry to ever wear jumpsuits before fucking anybody, before Slipknot, before anybody. You guys want to go back to that? I got my old jumpsuits out. I actually found them in the garage. Like, do we want to do that? What are we doing? Like, you know, that kind of shit is fun as hell. And to see the attitude of everybody in the band coming back, being where they are in their headspace, it's just bringing a lot of joy around this family for sure, you know, and around the Cold Chamber family. So doing Sick New World, of course, with System and Korn and all them is going to be great. Appreciate those guys asking us out. That thing sold out in 1 or 2 days. Mudvayne asking us out. Again, you know, going out on an amphitheater run, which I think is ambitious for sure. And we want to be part of that. It's going to be great with all the other bands as well. I think Gore's on that, and I think Butcher Babies and Non-Point. I'm sorry, I don't have everything written down in front of me, but that's going to be a good time as well. And just spending summer out with my band, I think is going to be fantastic, you know?
It'll be nice and healing for you, which you need for sure. I want that first co-headline tour with Seven Dust vibes on the stage, like the blow up crayons and the yeah. I want the hula hoops and the crayons and the tricycle from the very center.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to see that. I mean, I know it's Sick New World. We have only a 30-minute set, and I think everybody's got like 35, 40 minutes. There's 140 fucking bands. So, you know, we're going to go out there and do our thing. I don't believe there's going to be any real big production during that time. But, you know, look for production for sure on the Mudvayne run. We're running over some real cool shit and video screens and all sorts of stuff that's going to be fantastic, you know. And again, I think do things in life if you love it. Do things in life if you have the passion. Do things in life that make you happy. I'm going to be happy to get on a bus with those guys and do shows. I don't do anything in life if it doesn't bring me joy. I'll put it down in an instant. I've kind of proven that over the years. Either I've left a band or started a band or what have you. You know, it's got to be a good time for me, and it's got to have positive vibes, or I'm not in. You know, there's a lot of fucking drama in the music industry. I stay way away from it. I'm an extremely private person. It's one of the reasons I'm putting out the book. I mean, you know, I just deleted my Twitter, which I'm sure is not, you know, the label is not fucking happy about, but I'm backing off of a lot of social media as well. And I feel like the book was a necessary evil to put out so people can get, you know, a gist of where I come from my youth. And I think that going back out with Cold Chamber this summer is going to give a lot of people that maybe didn't see us when we came back out on Rivals, because we just went out on short run, give them a chance to come out, see Cold Chamber all happy, healthy, productive, and playing at our best, which is, you know, that's one of the first things I said. I'm not going to do this unless it's, you know, I have 110% tattooed on my knuckles. So I said, unless it's 110%, guys, let's not do this. And they certainly are firing on all cylinders right now, for sure. Meigs is fucking hilarious. He is just like, he's like, man, I broke out this pedal again that I haven't used in a long time. And, you know, the fun thing is talking about the songs, right? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want? I'm like, got to do Rowboat, got to do Loco, got to do, you know, there's a few songs we got to do. And then we found out, well, we've only got 6, 7 songs that we're going to play. And we all wanted the same set list. So it'll be a good time. It'll be a great time.
I will cast my hat in the ring as a request for Big Truck. That's my jam.
Big Truck is the second song we're going to play. That's definitely.
I'm there, dude. I'm there. Really quick as a final question. I could have had many, but here's the one for you. Why do you think new metal is having such a resurgence? Not just the historic bands like yours, but new bands are incorporating new metal into different genres, you know, hardcore, industrial, and other things. Why do you think today in 2023, it's like 2023, why is it happening now?
Two words, great music. I mean, look at who you're talking about. You're talking about Korn, System, I'm talking about the early guys now. I'm not talking about the ones that came later. Korn, Deftones, System, and actually it went Deftones, Korn, Cold Chamber, and Cold Chamber would have came out the same time as Korn, but I said no to a record deal for about a year and a half because I wasn't sure I wanted to go in the business. A lot of people don't know that. So it went Deftones, Korn, Cold Chamber. You know, I found Static X in front of about 20 people. At a small club in Hollywood, introduced them to a bunch of people. They got a deal. Then I remember we were on the road in a van. We heard System got signed. We were like cheering, you know, that our scene was coming up. I think good music. That's why this is happening. You got older fans that are, you know, 30s, 40s, some of them maybe even in the 50s that didn't get to see some of those bands that want to see it. But then you got a whole new group of kids, man, that are 15, 16, 20 that never got to see those bands, that found them from their dad, from their brother, from even the radio now, right? And they get to go out and see those bands. And I'm watching it even at Devildriver shows. You know, I remember the last Devildriver show in Albuquerque, actually, with Cradle of Filth. My wife, there's a time between the set where I usually don't drink water or anything on stage, but I went over, I grabbed a sip of water, and she pointed out the audience. She goes, "Look," and I had no idea what she was saying. I went back out and did a song. And afterwards I said to her, you know, what were you pointing at? And she's like, look at the crowd. And in essence, man, it was like all 20-year-olds. Like, and most of the shows were all, I don't think I saw a guy in their mid 30s at the shows. So there's something going on with the young fan base, with even a Devildriver and a Cradle, which have been around forever, right? But also the new metal thing. I think there's kids that want to see this. I mean, we were at a restaurant the other day with, like I said, I have 3 sons. We had a restaurant the other day with one of my sons. He wanted to run in and just get a sandwich. And I was like, I'll go with you. I want to get an iced tea. I'm thirsty. And I look over to the left of me, and there's 2 kids, obviously just got out of high school. They got their books and stuff. And one of them is wearing a Korn shirt, right? And the other one, I'm looking and I'm like, am I seeing what I'm seeing? And he's wearing a Cold Chamber shirt. So these 2 kids come walking. I mean, it sounds like 2 kids come walking in, but yeah, one was wearing a Korn shirt, one was wearing a Cold Chamber shirt. And I said to my wife, I had sunglasses on, I said, so let's get out of here real quick. And as I was leaving, sure as shit, the youngest one, he couldn't have been more than 15, looked at me and was like, hey, Dez, have a good day. So he either knew, yeah, I lived around the area and he didn't want to bug me, but he just basically said, Dez, have a great day. Like, I'm a fucking fan. And we were in the car talking about that. And she said to me, yeah, man, there's just a new crew of kids coming up. And because that music is so fucking good, you know? And I think, look, there's a lot of genres in metal that you're dealing with right now that maybe people aren't picking up on, you know? Like, I was never a power metal fan. You know, I was, you know, there's a lot of different genres. Now, I respect everything that everybody does. Let's just say that right now, right? So I'm not dissing any genre, right? I mean, I say it all the time. I never got into Pearl Jam or Nirvana. I understand, cool what they did. I get it, right? But I never got into the genre. And I think this genre, new metal specifically, has really good music, has a diverse set of rules when it comes to making music, which is no fucking rules. I mean, there's no rules to what System does. There's certainly no rules to what Cold Chamber does at all. And I've made it my mission with Devildriver, no fucking rules. And that's why we put Wishing, the song Wishing, actually on Dealing with Demons 1, because there are no rules. If you don't break rules in music, you become Coca-Cola, and then you become like the bands that I was talking to you about. You know, I could name 10 of those metal bands right now that can't change their formula or they're fucking done. And I never want to do that. So long answer to a short question. I think good music is what's bringing people to new metal again. And you certainly see it with Sick New World selling out in, I don't even know what it was, like 10 hours or some shit. I mean,
and they have the next one planned already, apparently. So we're
apparently they do. We hope to be part of it.
Yeah,
It's a great team over there. They've been getting back to all the emails and taking care of us and really dealing with the situation, you know. And I'm looking forward to walking around and seeing there's a lot of great bands there that day, you know, everybody from Sisters of Mercy to 69 Eyes. I mean, you know, and I'm mentioning goth bands because
Killing Joke.
yeah, Killing
Dude,
Joke. I mean, holy shit.
If
you
Killing
know?
Joke plays 80s and a pit breaks out, my heart's gonna be super happy.
Yeah, unbelievable, unbelievable. Somebody said to me, you know, well, afterwards, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm probably going to go catch a little bit of food because I can't eat before the set, and I'm coming right back on site to watch bands as long as I possibly can before my plane flies out, which is I got a red eye flying out.
All right. Hey, Dez, always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much. Congratulations on everything. Keep it up, and stay up, stay well, and we'll see you at Sick New World and beyond. And congratulations on dealing with demons too.
I appreciate it, man. I hope everybody picks out this record, man. You know, coming out May 12th. I think you're going to really be impressed. So thank you very much for your support. And I actually hear my wife upstairs in her office. She just put on Hatebreed. I think that means
Go time.
I think that means get up here. Let's go to work.
There it is.
So yeah, with that being said, thanks very much for your time, man.